conditions or anything. They allowed Swansea, they gave them an opportunity to get back in the game, and then once Swansea were right back in it, they took full advantage.
They're on the verge of signing, as we saw in the interview there, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but should they not be looking for defensive reinforcements after that?
Well, we said that at the start of the show. It's interesting. Arsenal keep buying more and more. You mentioned Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan has just signed as well, and you know, added to that, Lacazette that signed at the start of the year. They throw millions and millions at attacking players, but they've still got the same old problems. Not sure about the goalkeeper's performances lately.
Yeah,
he flattered a couple of crosses today.
He did, and obviously a shocking attempted clearance. But even leading up to that, you know, in recent weeks, he's not been his old self, and the back four have been average for a long time.
Andy, and while the pressure will continue to rise on the shoulders of Arsene Wenger, do the players have to take an element of responsibility from the, the nature of the defending there?
The players will take a lot of criticism from the fans. Players, when they walk over to applaud them at the end of the night, they'll have been getting, I'm sure, a lot of abuse from the travelling Arsenal fans. They know the next time they pull on the shirt, they're under pressure from as soon as the first whistle goes. But ultimately, players will always hide behind a manager that's taking most of the flack, and players can hide behind the settee a little bit. They can get out the way of the bullets that are flying and let the manager, unfortunately, take the brunt of that. They have to accept responsibility, and right now they're 8 points behind Liverpool.
And it could get worse. There's 7 more fixtures tomorrow in the Premier League.
Yeah, it could. But what I think we've got to be careful of here is that Arsenal are just not that good. You know, I think we're all remembering 10 years ago. You know, they've been third or fourth for quite many years. Now they're fifth, sixth, and they're possibly, arguably, closer to the rest of the pack than they are to the top 5 now. They're not that good, and I think everybody thinks still that Arsenal are this great, title challenging team. They're not that good anymore.
So hang on, are you saying we shouldn't be talking about them as part of a big six?
Well, I mean, it's a mini surprise tonight. It's a mini surprise, but I'm not falling off my seat thinking, oh my word, Arsenal have lost again. You mentioned it before, 3 times they've won in 13 away games. They're soft. They've been soft for 10, 12 years now. They've won the odd cup, the FA Cup. They might win the League Cup, the Carabao Cup this year. But apart from that, they've been knocked out by Nottingham Forest again in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
They're 6th in the league.
Yeah.
They're not in the Champions. They're just an all right team at the moment. I think we're getting carried away, remembering the great teams of the past. They're not that good anymore.
What will be going on in Arsene Wenger's mind right now?
Well, I think we don't expect too much. I don't expect significant changes. There doesn't appear to be ramifications for a defeat like that with Arsenal. I think with other managers, they would shake things up a bit. They would be prepared to chop and change, and certain players may feel that they're going to be out the team for 5 or 6 games. That never seems to happen with Arsenal. Whenever they lose, it's like Arsene Wenger's not going to panic or go overboard with a defeat. But every now and again, you feel like he should. Every now and again, I always look at him and I think you need to rattle a few cages and bang a few heads together, Arsene, in the right way to get some sort of positive reaction. But very rarely does that seem to happen. It's not in his thought process, is it?
It doesn't happen to the cameras, and it certainly doesn't happen in the dressing room as well. You talk to any of the players, they say he's not a shouter. Even at half-time, doesn't change much. He's very quiet and calm in the dressing room. Maybe that needs to change. Maybe, Arsene Wenger needs to get about them a bit more, or the manager needs to change.
If we're not careful, we're going to be entering the same phase as we were this time last year, where the same questions keep coming up about Arsene Wenger. Everyone's waiting for him to put pen to paper on a new contract.
Well, he already says he's going to see this 2-year deal through.
But you know what? Listen, no manager should ever feel like he's the one calling the shots or that strong and comfortable in that position. That's not down to him. Yes, he signed a contract, but it's up to the club whether they want to honour it.
Yeah.
That's the way it works in football. And they're going to be getting to that point again where they're going to start having to say to themselves, we're answering the same questions again and again.
On the flip side, it's another terrific result for Carlos Carvajal. That's 3 wins and a draw from the last 5 games in the Premier League. They could have scored a fourth, a 5th goal. Yeah. I mean, we saw Nathan Dyer hit the post when they were 3-1 up.
Well, it's beyond Swansea fans' wildest dreams to be out of the bottom, not just off the bottom, but out of the bottom 3 in such a short period of time. They're absolutely flying, and who knows? I mean, everybody had Swansea as a guarantee of relegation all season. It's only since Carvalhal's taken over we're almost thinking they can stay up. And there's a couple of teams, we've watched Huddersfield tonight, that are looking like they're going that way while the Swans are flying high.
They almost made you change your mind as to whether they'd stay.
Do you know what? For weeks I've thought to myself, there's no way I can see him getting out of it. Now all of a sudden, of course, you beat Watford, you then beat Liverpool, you now beat Arsenal, and all of a sudden you've every right to believe that you can continue that run and get yourself out of it. They've got a lot of work to do, a couple of defeats and they'll drop back in. That's the way they are. But they've got their heads above water. Now they've really got a kick to make sure they stay there.